Here's the answer to today's Black History Month question. The first African-American U.S. Senator was Hiram Rhodes Revels. He was elected to fill the vacated seat of Confederate President Jefferson Davis in 1870. And that's going to do it for CBS 4 News at 5:30. CBS 4 News at 6 with Maggie Rodriguez and Rob Hanrahan starts right now.
And next at 6, 2 stories you'll see only on 4. Crooks accused of tricking tourists and turning them into victims on their vacations.
And South Florida parents taking no chances after a computer message scares a student.
A big boat show, a big weekend, and some big headaches for South Florida. Tonight, how to miss the migraine and find the fun.
And proposed dress code changes that could force kids to cover up in class.
Also, we're on top of developing news. More units are headed now to a hazmat scare already affecting several people in Miami Lakes. CBS 4 News at 6 starts now.
Now, live. This is CBS 4 News at 6.
Now, they come to South Florida on vacation and wind up victims.
Look unfamiliar with their surroundings is when they're, somehow disoriented, that they become the victims.
Crooks offering help and then attacking tourists. Well, tourists were popular targets in South Florida back in the late 80s.
We remember that, and now on this holiday weekend, a warning from police. It's happening again. CBS 4's Leave Davalos joins us now live in Miami with our exclusive. Leave.
Well, Maggie, it's an all too familiar theme, tourists being targeted. This time, police say that the tourists are being followed as they leave one of the many car rental centers near the airport. In fact, just this Monday, one Swedish tourist was robbed as she left this Avis car rental center. She wasn't hurt, but police say they want to catch the crooks before someone else does. It was a time in Miami-Dade County and Florida's history that most everyone wants to forget. The tourist robberies and killings that made headlines all over the world. The time, the early 90s. City of Miami Police Detective Delrish Moss.
They had a series of very violent robberies where they actually targeted tourists because they also knew, lots of the bad guys knew at that time that these people probably couldn't identify, probably wouldn't go to the police, things like that, and they figured that they were easy pickings.
The robbers would follow tourists from the airport rental car offices, following cars easily identified by their rental tags. Some of those robberies turning fatal, as in the case of German tourist Uwe Reckebrand, who in September of 1993 was shot to death in front of his pregnant wife. The robbers had rammed the couple's rental car from behind. When Reckebrand refused to stop, they shot him. In another case in April of 93, German tourist Barbara Jensen in town just minutes when she was killed. Jensen took a wrong turn. Robbers beat her, then ran her over in front of her mother and her children.
These were violent offenders who would go out and stick a gun in a victim's face and actually take their belongings and hurt them in some cases, and in some cases people were killed.
Changes were made where rental cars were not easily identifiable and victims were flown back to help convict the robbers, and everything seemed to go back to normal.
That is until this October, when police started receiving call after call of tourists once again being followed from the airport and from car rental offices like this one, and tourists once again being robbed.
So far since October, there have been 9 robberies, all in the vicinity of the airport, all involving tourists who appear to be lost or looking at maps.
What they're doing now is they see these victims driving down the street and they realize they're tourists just by just sort of the look. They look out of place, that sort of thing, and they're following them from areas like rent-a-cars.
While the MO seems to be the same as the robberies in the 90s, Detective Delrish Moss says so far, this time the crimes are not violent.
What they're doing is they're doing sort of distractions. These are a lot more mild, not so violent. What they're doing is they're telling them there's something wrong with your car. Your tire's flat. There's something happening with your gas tank.
That's exactly what happened to Swedish tourist Margaret Lawrence. She and 2 other people were traveling down 112 when a man in the car next to her was telling her there was a problem with her car.
It was a man that stopped our car and said he was screaming that it was something wrong with our car. It was a rental car. And we stopped.
Unfortunately, Lawrence stopped on 22nd Avenue in an unpopulated spot. While outside looking at her car, the man drove up, jumped out, and grabbed her bag.
We stopped, and I went out to look at the car, and then he just grabbed my handbag and ran away. He didn't hurt me at all.
Police say Lawrence was followed from this Avis rental car office. While Lawrence was lucky she was not injured, police say that could change.
But these aren't the violent types of robberies that we saw a few years ago. Our concern, however, is that there's always the potential for elevation.
And because police believe these crimes could possibly become violent, there are security measures underway. Even so, you are asked to be vigilant and use common sense. In Miami, Lee Davalos, CBS 4 News.
And breaking news right now into CBS 4. This from Miami Lakes. Hazmat teams on the scene at a shopping center have requested backup right now. Let's go to Joy Purdy at the news desk. Joy.
Rob, this is breaking news that we've been following for you since about 5 o'clock. This is a strip mall, Northwest 154th Street and 77th Court. Inside that strip mall is the Washington Mutual Bank. One person has been treated after reacting to some kind of chemical. Fortunately, nobody had to be taken to the hospital, but this is what we know. An employee inside the bank, after serving a customer, reported feeling a scratchy throat and watery eyes. Other employees started feeling the same way, so there was a voluntary evacuation. But hazmat teams so far have found nothing inside the bank. So the situation is slowly getting back to normal. Hazmat crews still on the scene, making sure everything is under control. As soon as we get more information or what exactly was the problem, we will bring it right to you. Live at the breaking news desk, Joy Purdy, CBS 4 News. Now get ready, South Florida, for a big holiday weekend. 3 boat shows are in town, as well as the Art Festival in Coconut Grove. But all these events, plus 2 holidays, first Valentine's, then President's Day, spell major traffic troubles. CBS 4's Shamari Stone is live with more. Shamari.
That's right, Maggie. There will be major traffic troubles this weekend, which is why police are recommending that tourists, the locals, park in parking garages on South Beach. I'm now here on an Island Packet 485 sailboat. This is a strictly sail part of the Miami Beach International Boat Show down here by Bayside here on Miami Marina. This boat right here costs roughly about $630,000, but there are some power boats at the Miami Beach Convention Center. The 63rd Miami International Boat Show sails into South Florida.
Oh, it's great.
You're always looking to have a good time.
Attracting more than 100,000 tourists from across the nation.
I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and come down here because this is the biggest and the best.
We come here every couple of years and look for new things that we don't see at home. We're from Oklahoma.
People spending millions on the finest powerboats, yachts, express cruisers, sports fishing boats, and other watercrafts, bringing in $500 million to the South Florida economy. Local vendors and other business owners cash in on South Beach. So how do you feel about that?
I feel so happy.
Sales are up more than 50% at hotels compared to a regular 3-day weekend.
Boat show is a great show for our hospitality business. For all the hotels at the beach, we got a lot of people coming in. We're sold out for this weekend already.
He can also thank Valentine's Day and the Coconut Grove Arts Festival. But with all the thousands of tourists, some local South Florida residents are concerned about the extra traffic.
Oh, I hate the traffic. Hate the traffic. I travel all the way from Palm Beach County, so I hit 3 different counties of traffic.
Police recommend you use parking garages and public transportation.
Pleading to the public to heed to our warnings as to using the parking garages, using the parking walks, and coming over here on the electrowave.
Security will be stepped up, uniformed and undercover officers will be out just in case things get out of hand.
This is the 63rd year that this boat show's been here in Miami Beach, and we've never had an incident like this ever happen. So we're hoping this year will be the same.
Now, tomorrow the Coconut Grove Arts Festival will start, so it looks like you'll be having a busy weekend. Live here in Miami, I'm Shamari Stone, CBS 4 News.
And our team coverage of the big weekend continues now with a big question. What will the weather be like? Brian Norcross is in weather control. Brian?
The weather's going to be sort of okay, Maggie. Not perfect until we get to Monday. Let's take a look at it day by day. Here you go with tomorrow, or Saturday, first of all. We expect to have a few showers around, but some sunshine mixed in as well, and quite warm in the mid-80s. Heavy rain to our north and thunderstorms to our west, but none of those storms are going to get here, we don't think, in any big way until late in the day. Perhaps Saturday night they move in as the front heads in our direction, so expecting rain chances to increase late Saturday into Saturday night, and then be in the area on Sunday, so clouds and some showers around on Sunday, Sunday being the worst day of the weekend. But then it all moves out for Monday. Sunshine returns, cooler, drier air. Looks like a fabulous President's Day. Back with more in just a few minutes.
Only on 4 tonight, a South Florida family says it's living in fear after disturbing threats are made against their daughter. CBS 4's Maribel Rodriguez joins us live with more. Maribel.
Rob, those threats were made through an online chat. The mother says a few months ago she probably would have thought differently, but due to the recent tragedy at a middle school, she is taking no chances.
He said that I caused him pain and everybody had caused him pain and he felt unwanted. So he was going to do a Columbine shooting and shoot up in Braddock, W.R. Thomas, and Paul Bell. And then after he was done killing everybody, he would kill himself.
Strong words that will make your hair stand on end, and more so because they're coming from a 9th grader during an online chat.
He's told more than 2 people about it, and he's been planning it for weeks, his friend has told me.
This conversation has an 8th grader and her family living in fear.
It's been a nightmare. I don't think anyone in my family has slept a peaceful night through.
Because of the tragedies that have occurred with teens in and out of school, such as Columbine, which was mentioned in the chat, this mother says she's taking the threats very seriously.
We thought about all the different scenarios, you know, if it could be a joke, what if it is a joke, what if it isn't? And what if it isn't struck me too serious to let it go as what if it is.
She too thought, could he be serious? And she did, especially after hearing this.
He started naming guns and where he was going to get it and like specific people who he was going to kill and like the date.
And we spoke with school board police. They say they are aware of the situation and have looked into it, but say no crime has been committed. As for the school, they too are aware and are keeping a very close eye on the student who's being accused of making those threats. Maribel Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
When we come back, a timely question. Are students showing too much skin at South Florida schools?
Still ahead, a proposed new dress code that could force kids to cover up.
Jim Barry here. Up real soon in sports, the feds bust a steroid ring which it says supplied big-time athletes. And man, wouldn't it be nice if the Heat played the Orlando Magic every game? They'd be undefeated.
It could be the ultimate safe sex. Not contraceptives, but a contract. Friday at 5 and 11, CBS 4 News' Jennifer Santiago explores the fascinating new legal twist to liaisons.
The contract is not outrageous. In fact, it's very logical.
From inside the seductive world of pro sports, find out why some big-name athletes won't have sex without signing the sex contract. Friday at 5 and 11 on CBS 4 News. If you see news in the making, dial star CBS 4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
Brian Norcross is in with the weather. He's going to walk us through tomorrow and the whole weekend, which a lot of people have major plans.
You know, it may not be absolutely perfect. In fact, it could be a little rainy on Sunday. But New York, high of 25, low about 13, you know.
Yeah, we'll take it.
So we're doing just fine. Look outside here right now. It's a magnificent South Florida evening. 80 here at Weather Control in West Dade, 78 Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, and 77 at Key West, sticking to scale 3. Fairly comfy. It was up a little bit earlier today, and now it's gone down just a little bit. And no rain here today. A few sprinkles around. That's it. Here are the high temperatures. Check out your neighborhood, the warm spot, Pembroke Pines. That's at North Perry Airport. There on the Hollywood line. Just about everybody low to mid 80s today. And really, really nice February weather. It is February. Remember that. All right, here's our deal. We have this flow of air coming in from the tropics. The nasty weather is surrounding us here, and it's going to stay surrounding us through most of the day tomorrow. So let's take our true view look at tomorrow's weather. We do have some clouds around in this tropical air, but that's not too bad. And the front is going to come down and kind of stop this first front. There's actually 2 that we're dealing with, so it's not going to get to us. We're staying warm. Just a few spotty showers in this tropical air. The cool air is to the north, and that's where the clouds are, you see on our true view look. Then let's head on down as we get toward the important part of the week. That is the weekend. And you see we have rain to the north, rain to the west, warm and humid here, and most of the rain late in the day, although not ruling out a shower or 2 during the day. And then late in the day on Saturday, as we were talking about, here comes the front from the west, and here it comes. Come on, come on, come on. There it goes. Go, go, go. There it goes. Okay, coming on in. So rain chances increasing Saturday night into Sunday. So lots of clouds on Sunday and showers likely, but it won't be an all-day rain, I don't think. Just more a cloudy day. And then it moves on by, so Monday looks like a perfect day. All right, talk about the not-so-nice weather surrounding us. Here you see north of all this, in the 40s across the south. Look at Kansas City there at 19. Right now in New York, it's 39, but off to the west, it's 10 in Minneapolis, and this air is heading east. So if you're going north this weekend, it's going to be cold, cold, cold. Okay, our forecast looks like this. For tonight, mostly perfect. Fog later on in the inland sections, 62 to 70 for your range. For tomorrow, a mixture of sun and clouds, a little bit of a chance of a shower, high up to 83, but really a pretty decent day. Light southeast wind, boating looks terrific tomorrow. And here's your weekend, warm and humid with a few showers on Saturday, and Sunday the best chance, and then Monday looks great. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Brian. Now, low-cut tops, hip-hugging pants, and backless shoes, big trends for teens. But proposed dress code changes could mean some students will have to cover up in school. Broward County school officials say the revealing outfits are simply too sexy for school.
And tonight they're asking for your input. CBS 4's Joan Murray is live with the dress code controversy tonight. Joan.
We're at Fort Lauderdale High School, where this certainly is a hot-button issue. Some students feel clothing is a matter of expression, while others say there has to be a limit. A pop star's clothing, or the lack of it, is meant to distract, tantalize, in some cases shock. Following the trend may be fashionable on the weekend, but does it belong in school?
Like a part of freedom of speech. I mean, you get the freedom to wear what you want. So really, I don't think that should be allowed.
Because it's comfortable, whatever you should wear, you just learning. Doesn't matter about what you wear.
But what you wear to school in Broward County is under review.
What some students miss is the big picture, and that is what may be appropriate on a Saturday night at the mall or the movies may not necessarily be appropriate in a school setting.
On the school district webpage, they're asking students, parents, and teachers to comment on the code of student conduct, asking if they support allowing students to wear strapless shoes. Do they support revealing clothing or undergarments, pajamas, and beachwear?
If someone wants to come in pajamas and feels comfortable and knows and is aware of the consequences, I guess they should come like that.
Yes, we're not too sinful, but not showing their butt cheeks and all, but they're comfortable with what they got on. Wear it.
So what should be the limits?
I don't think flip-flops are as safe a shoe as you need when you're, going up and downstairs and on a campus.
It bothers some people. It bothers a lot of people, like maybe teachers or something, but, students, I don't think they mind because, they the one that's wearing it.
I feel that they really shouldn't have a say as long as it's not to the point where everything's showing and everything's hanging out.
This fashion debate will soon make its way to Broward School Board members, who will have to decide whether to put up or cover up. And if you want to weigh in, you can go to their webpage, browardschools.com. Very easy to fill out the survey. They'll take your comments until the end of February, and the school board is expected to act on this in March or early April. Live in Fort Lauderdale, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
Dr. Sean is next.
We'll be right back.
Closed captioning sponsored by City Furniture, now offering same-day delivery 7 days a week.
In Dr. Sean's medical file, are 8 glasses of water a day too much?
We've got the answer, plus a disturbing find in infant mortality rates. Health specialist Dr. Sean Kniff is here with more. Doctor?
That's right, Maggie. For the first time in more than 4 decades, the U.S. infant mortality rate is on the rise. Health officials say it's because more women are putting off having children until their 30s and 40s, and then having multiple births because they've taken fertility drugs. The rate in 2002 climbed from 6.8 to 7 deaths per 1,000 live births. And the Institute of Medicine claims that old recommendation of drinking 8 glasses of water a day is based on soggy science. In its new report, researchers found most of us get plenty of water from the food and beverages we consume each day, and they recommend drinking only when you're thirsty. According to the report, coffee and tea also count because even though caffeine is a diuretic and it makes you lose weight, the effect is very short, and the hydrating effect is the same as it is with any other beverage. Dr. Sean Kniff, CBS 4 News.
Thank you, Sean. Coming up in sports, the feds crack down on steroid suppliers to big-named athletes.
And the Dolphins take a look at a former baseball player for answers at quarterback. Jim Barry coming up next.
Car loan scams. Are you paying too much interest? Many buyers are, and it's no accident. Eye on America goes undercover tonight on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather, right after CBS 4 News. So stay with us.
Jim Barry here now with sports. Well, the feds are cracking down on the juice. 4 alleged steroid suppliers are indicted for doping big-time athletes. U.S. Attorney John Ashcroft announces the busts today in Washington. He says 2 execs of this San Francisco medical lab peddle steroids and substances to hide their use. Also named the personal trainer of slugger Barry Bonds and a track coach. No athletes, though, are charged with illegal use.
We think that it's appropriate to work together with sports to do what we can to promote the integrity of the sport by ridding athletics, both amateur and professional, of this dangerous practice.
Good luck. All right, the Heat hit the All-Star break on an upbeat note. Last night they spanked Orlando like a spoiled child. Stan Van Gundy works the refs last night in Orlando, but no need. Not with Rafe Ralston hitting those trays. He was 5 out of 6. Rafe had the radar working. And Dwayne Wade had another dazzling night. Boy, he could be scary good. Wade with 27. Lamar Odom also wheels and deals, although frankly, that's not hard to do against the Magic's Matador defense. The Heat win by 13. The Canes' Darius Rice benched for the start of last night's game against BC, and when he gets in, Rice continues to struggle. The 3 could win it in regulation. Nope. Oh, where is my shot, he wonders. In overtime, BC's Gerard Dudley says, this is how you do it, Darius. Boom. Come on, Mr. Rice, try again. You can win it. This leaner, no good. The Canes again self-destruct as UM loses its 6th straight. The NHL says it's losing money, $273 million last year, it says. The league is bracing for new labor talks with players. The Panthers tonight host Pittsburgh, hoping that goalie Roberto Luongo remains brilliant as he has been all season. 2 nights ago, Victor Kozlov's 2 quick goals carried them by Montreal. Behind new coach John Torchetti, the Panthers now must be ruthless to reach the playoffs.
It's a must-win tonight for us. I mean, obviously, the team on the other side struggled a bit lately, and we can't give them any life at all. I mean, right off the bat, we got to come out strong and take it away from them.
All right, in Houston, all eyes were on a prospect who might just end up being a Dolphin. Drew Henson today lets it fly, and scouts from 20 NFL teams, including the Dolphins, check him out. There he is. Henson is giving up on baseball to jumpstart his quarterbacking career. The Houston Texans own his rights. The Finns probably could snatch him if they surrender their first-round pick. The Bills and Packers are also said to be interested. So strong he can throw from his knees. All right, after a month off, Tiger Woods is back in the swing. And by the looks of things, Tiger is a little bit rusty. Tiger lost the goatee and loses his cool in the first round of the Buick Invitational at 18. This birdie putt looks makeable, but Tiger says, I can't believe I blew it. He settles for a 1 under 71. Kevin Stadler was doing plenty of chirping, though. 7 birdies, and this eagle at 18. He fires an 8 under round of 64. I don't know if he was related to Craig Stadler, who was nicknamed the Walrus. And that guy was kind of chunky, too. I don't know.
You never know. All right, some research.
No, I'll check it out.
All right.
Thanks, JB.
All right.
Well, for the first time, researchers say they've cloned a human embryo.
Real researchers coming
That's
up on
right.
the CBS Evening News what their plan is now, and it's not to make babies.
If you're thinking about financing a car purchase, there are things you should know before you step onto the showroom floor. I'm Jim Acosta. I'll have the story on dealer ripoffs on tonight's CBS Evening News.
Kate Hudson's Baby Boy, the first picture. Then Hollywood's biggest scandals, from Courtney Love to the woman who kept Michael Jackson's secrets. Plus, whatever happened to Starsky and Oprah's Pop Star Challenge next ET.
Weeknights at 7 on CBS 4.
CBS Tonight. The survivors face a shark attack. And what happens in the last 15 minutes will shock everyone.
My God!
Catch a new Survivor All-Stars episode. Then, body counts 5. Brace yourself for a CSI shocker.
We need a medic!
A new episode. Plus, sometimes the toughest thing about being a kid is surviving your own classmates.
We believe he was kidnapped.
I never meant for it to get this bad.
A new Without a Trace after a new Survivor in CSI. CBS Tonight.
Remember, if you see news in the making, give us a call. The Miami-Dade hotline is 305-477-2444.
In Broward, call 954-463-NEWS.
That's our news for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 11. Here's Dan Rather. Good night.
A breakthrough in human cloning tonight. The scientific achievement, the medical possibilities, the ethical questions, and the push to stop it. Another ambush in Iraq. This time, 2 very high-ranking U.S. military men get caught in the middle of it. The bullies on the bus. School kids beat a classmate on camera. Can this behavior be stopped? And Eye on America exposes car financing ripoffs. They got taken. You don't have to when buying a car. Stay tuned.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The debate over human cloning is suddenly back in the headlines. That's because South Korean researchers announced today they successfully cloned human embryos, more than 24 of them. The researchers say